All right. So, as I was making the last video talking about non English drivers bribing and paying for a CDL, they don't have any experience. They're getting out here and it's dangerous on the roads. Over the past couple of days here in Texas, that's our governor, Governor Abbott, that guy right there. That's a governor from one of the states along the border in New Mexico. I forget where it is. But anyway, so a couple of days ago, Greg Abbott shut down the border of Texas and put a 100% inspection rate on all trucks coming across, trying to stop, people from smuggling drugs, people from smuggling people, crime, all kinds of things, was the original intention. And if you've ever been to Laredo, if you've ever been to El Paso, if you've ever been to San Diego, any border town, and seen the condition of the trucks that come across that border, it's enraging that they're supposed to fall under this as soon as they cross that border. They're supposed to fall under the same regulations that we do, but they get away with it, and they have for years and years and years, and they will continue to get away with it. But what happened was he just announced. If I just caught this, it was like less than an hour ago. He had a press conference, and he said one of the things that didn't surprise me and wouldn't surprise any of you either is that when they did these inspections, over 25% of the trucks that they inspected were put out of service for one violation or another, that they were not safe to drive on the road. But the funniest part about this is that not long after he decided to do this 100% inspection rate, 100% inspection rate, most of the Mexican truck drivers shut down their trucks in Mexico and blocked the roadways to keep people from going across the border, sort of a boycott. But in my mind, it wasn't really a boycott. It's just that they knew that their trucks were not going to pass this inspection. They've signed some kind of agreement here that his state over in Mexico was going to put more security on the border, and other things, the things that promises that were always made by these people. But when I was a lease operator, I worked for one of these big carriers, and we had all these rules. If you're leasing a truck, or if you're an owner operator with that company, the truck it couldn't be no older than 3 or 4 years old, and it couldn't have so many miles on it. So all these regulations that the carrier put on you, on top of all the safety regulations that the DOT puts on you. But you would drive down to Laredo, drop that trailer off, and they would hire a Mexican truck driver with a truck that could barely do 30 miles an hour, that was falling apart, spewing fumes. They would hire that guy to take it over the border, while you were paying $800-900 a week for your truck so you could keep running. It is what it is. Will this do anything? I don't know. I was pretty impressed by the news conference of what he had to say. And so it's a big problem here in Texas, because it's one of the things that keeps the rates down in Texas, is that what's going on is the Mexican drivers are allowed to bring freight into the state and take freight straight back out. But what a lot of them are doing, and that it hasn't been cracked down on as far as I know, is that they're also doing intrastate runs, and from state to state, and they're getting away with it, and they're doing it for much, much lower rates than anybody else would do. So Texas rates are always pretty far below what most other states are, and that's one of the reasons. But yeah, I just thought it was illuminating, I'll use that word, that most of the trucks didn't even come into Texas, and the ones that did, 25% of them were put out of service. No surprise to any of us.